I'm the president this year. My name is Tim Blair. And I think one of the best things about MUDs is that we've got a whole range of stuff which can cater to a whole heap of different things. So whether you're just a complete beginner who hasn't done much debating at all, to someone who's had a lot of experience in debating and wants to take things really seriously, I think the great thing about MUDs compared to a lot of other clubs is its versatility. So I think the first thing that we need to stress is that absolutely everyone here is welcome, whether you're an absolute complete novice to someone who's done a whole lot. We've got a lot on this year. We've got tournaments interstate. We've got an internal competition which is run between everyone who's in here, down to public debates and social events and that sort of thing. So we've got a really packed calendar coming up. Tonight what we've got for you is a demonstration debate, and then we're going to go to the pub and have some drinks on MUDs' money. So that's always fun. But before we do, we've got a few basic administrative tasks to run through so that everyone knows basically how things work here. So first, I'm going to welcome Ming Kang up, our school's training officer, because one of the things MUDs does very effectively is offer schools training to schools, and you guys can be paid for it, etc., and it's all worth it. So go ahead.
So this is our school's training officer. It'll be a really short speech, not too long. So school training is a great thing for MUDs because we make most of our money off school training, and it's also great because the university doesn't like good grants. But what it also can do is make you rich as well. It can make you rich as well. So at the moment, I've got lots and lots and lots of jobs, like literally hundreds or thousands of dollars worth at the moment to give out. So actually, if you sign up today, or if you haven't sent me an email yet, I sent you an email with a little notice asking you to put your name down, your experience level. It's good if you have debating experience, obviously, if you're going to coach. If you haven't debated too much and you have a little bit of experience, we'll still train you up, because we don't send you out on jobs automatically by yourself, because we don't want to scare you. We do actually send you an experienced person, get trained up, to get session plans if you're new. It's not a really daunting task. Like, if you're not comfortable, just talk to me about it. So just send me an email. It's at schools.training@mudsonline.net. We pay good rates, it's good fun, and you're going to meet some people if you've gone through jobs as well. So it's all good. Sign up, make some money. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Michelle and this is Beck, and we're internal officers. I'm also known as Bash, so if you hear someone tell you to go talk to Bash, that would also be me.
Just so you know about the competition that we're running for the first couple of weeks, that's a novice competition, so it's basically train up people who haven't done much debating before. We try and team up less experience with more experience, so everyone can try and get the most out of it. We have some sign-up forms here, which the lovely Michelle has made. Just a quick notice on these. Please fill in all the information so that we have the most information we can. Some of them are numbered 1 to 5, and some of them are numbered 6 to 10. The ones that are 6 to 10, pretend they're 1 to 5.
If you don't have anyone to debate with, that's fine. Just put your name down. We'll put you in a team. Also, do you want to hand these out while you're talking? Also, I haven't put something on there at the moment that has like your level of experience. So if you just want to write on the back whether you've done debating before, at what level you've done it, just so we can try and like figure out where you guys are at. If you don't, it's no big deal. But just for next week. And any old members who are here, basically that part of the room, it would be great if you could also put down if you're willing to adjudicate or coach next week. And for the week coming up, we're going to need a lot of badges and people to go around and help teams prep. Just because if people haven't done a lot of debating before, it might be nice for them to have an idea of what they're doing. That's pretty much all you guys need to know, except that come next week at 5:30 and we'll have you in a team and we'll have your room allocated for you. And you can start with fun times and use positive terms.
Another thing which MUDs has coming up over the next couple of weeks, which is always great fun, is the MUDs commencement dinner. It's truly like an event to remember, or not, every year. And once again, we'll be following the tradition and having, as you can see there, ridiculous amounts of wine, a 3-course meal, and basically it's just a heap of fun. So your socials officer, Penelope, hasn't been able to make it tonight, so we're still not entirely sure where she is and what's going on with that. but it has been organised, and we're going to post details on the MUDS website over the next couple of days, which is mudsonline.net, and is basically a very important source of information for just about anything. But more importantly, since it's a week away, we'll post details on there on how to pay and what to do if you want to attend. But it's pretty good value because basically MUDS subsidises it, hence the reason it's cheaper for MUDS members than non-members, and it's just a great way to get to know everyone in the club. So we hope to see as many of you there as possible. But since we're running short on time, we might as well get started with the demonstration debates we've got going tonight. So we'll bring Rashada up for that. Yeah, sure. But first, Emma, instead of Rashada, is not as
Hi everyone, I'm Secretary Emma. If you sign up for a week, you should already receive an email from me about tonight. If you sign up for a week and you didn't get an email from me, it could be because you're one of the 30 people whose email address is bounced. So that's either because we couldn't read your handwriting properly or your email address doesn't exist. Either way, come down and let me know and we can change it, fix your email address so you get future updates. We'll send out an email about the events as well to remind you if you can't find the website. Thanks. Thanks, Mike. Hi guys, I am Rashada. I'm the member training officer for this year. What that basically means is that I organise people that come in at 5:30 every Tuesday afternoon and train you up on things from advanced debating tactics to topics about like security and crime and punishment and all the stuff that makes you awesome debaters but also the smartest person in every conversation, which I'm sure you all already are. Awesome. So what we're having, so that's on Fridays, Tuesdays at 5:30. If you have an awesome, awful class at 5:30, you can't make it. That's disappointing. But you can still come to the debates that start at 6:30. All the training will be filmed and put on the website. Yeah. So you can still watch the training and you can still learn heaps. What we have today, what we have today is demonstration debates, just for people to find out what we do, what debates look like, if you've never seen one before. What we did this semester is basic 3-on-3, which is a bit like, or a lot like what you guys have done in high school, if you debated in high school. It's two teams, per bit negative, debating a topic, and fairly straightforward. We have some of MUD's finest debating for you tonight. We have on the affirmative team, we have Michael, affirmative team's on the side, yep. We have Kelly and Chris and Nick, and on the negative team we have Michael speaking first, then Monique and Steph. These are all really talented. These are all really talented, friendly people. If you come to the pub afterwards, you should. Feel free to go up to them and speak to them about the debate, and things like that. All really nice. Awesome. So the debate topic for tonight is this house would legalise incest. On the affirmative, get married and have kids if they want to. That's our model in today's debate. I want to talk about two things in my substantive material. Firstly, I want to talk about why the state should not interfere in intimate relationships, but specifically why this ick factor that we have at the moment that prevents people who are truly deeply in love from being together is wrong and shouldn't be tolerated. But secondly, I want to talk about why these people can consent, but they're not some crazy that you should just throw up and totally disengage with in today's debate. These people are rational, consenting human beings who are over the age of 18, and that's important. So my first point, the state shouldn't interfere in intimate relationships. We do not think that having sex with your brother or sister is wrong or harmful. But even if you did, we do not think that the state has a role or a responsibility to play in interfering in intimate relationships. So for example, you might say that having sex with your brother or your sister could be psychologically damaging to you or even physically damaging to you if you feel that way. The same could be said of someone who is gay, Mr. Speaker, who is psychologically damaged by the fact that a lot of people in society don't accept their sexual choice and often are taunted, bullied and humiliated by a lot of people in society, which we don't stand for but does happen, and we don't interfere in their choice. People are beaten up for their sexual decisions, and still we don't outlaw having sex with someone of the same sex as you. But then you might say, but dude, your kids, they're going to have like 3 feet. We can't allow that in today's debate. We do not think that eugenics as a reason to stop people who are in love from being together is right. For example, people who are almost guaranteed to have Down syndrome children because they both have Down syndrome aren't stopped from getting married. People who have recessive genes that pass on things like haemophilia, sickle cell anemia, cystic fibrosis, and Tay-Sachs, when both of those people within that couple have that recessive gene, they have like a 50 or a 75% chance of passing it on. We don't stop them from having those children, Mr. Speaker. We allow them. Why? Because we don't think the state should get involved in some weird game of eugenics and get involved in intimate relationships. But secondly, why they can consent. We think firstly, they are adults, and we shouldn't judge people who are engaging in consensual sex, because it's not about intimacy here. It's not about the fact
It's 6 o'clock.
that the government has a problem at the moment with their relationship. Because, Mr. Speaker, we would allow someone who grew up in the same house as someone else but isn't related to them for 20 years, they act as brother and sister but they're not actually related, we would allow them to have sex. We would allow someone who works in the same job in a very intimate situation with someone for 20 years, we would allow them to have sex. So it's not about intimacy or the fact that you know them very well. In fact, we would say that consent is enhanced by the fact that you know this person very well, and obviously you're in love with them, you're willing to deal with society's stigma against you. But also what we would say is that these are consenting adults, they're over the age of 18, and this ick factor that we have against them shouldn't stop people who are truly and legitimately in love from being together. Thank you.
Alright, I'd like to thank Kelly for a speech and call upon the first speaker of the negative team, Michael.
Ladies, gentlemen, and quite literally, motherfuckers. We're willing to accept on negative 10. We're willing to accept that in a perfect world, that unbound by practicality, a man, let's call him Chris, might, in a cruel twist of fate properly described, lock eyes with his sister, we'll call her Rebecca. Just random names like chosen, over the dinner table, and their love might be interfered with by the nanny state. But the reality is that in the vast majority of situations where incest occurs, it's abusive, and the consent that Kelly wanted to claim existed just doesn't exist. So in rebuttal, I'm going to look at 2 things very quickly, and the body of my speech will deal with the whole thorny issue of consent. So, the first idea is this ick factor that is painted as rational. The ick factor is there for a reason. It's because incest is fucking disgusting.